Let AJ Doman Chevrolet be your one stop for all your business needs in 2025. Whether it's a service body, a flatbed, or a chassis for a custom upfit, we got you covered. And we know time's important, so we have a large selection of work-ready trucks on hand. AJ Doman Chevrolet, servicing the area for over 35 years at the foot of the Morgan City Bridge in Berwick. AJ Doman Chevrolet, your business elite dealer.
Stanwood and Claude Duval were two brothers from Houma who both attended LSU and both joined the Marine Corps together in World War II. By some miracle, they were able to position themselves to serve together in the Pacific, and through the Pacific War, they served in the 4th Marine Division. They were in every battle, Roy, Saipan, Tinian, and Iwo Jima. Claude was wounded on Iwo Jima, and Stanwood was slightly wounded, but both stayed on the island for the whole month and managed to help capture the island and returned back to Houma after the war, where they both found careers and started their families. And today we have the LSU Military Museum's exhibit on Iwo Jima. All of the artifacts in the museum are donated or loaned by the family, so all the exhibits we have on display today come directly from the families. We've managed to go through and select a few items that really help tell the story of the Duval brothers. And we've found, photographs in the yearbooks and to highlight the other Marines who are on Iwo, but most of the artifacts come directly from the families. One story that stands out with the Duval brothers is from the first night on the island of Tinian. They both dug in a foxhole on the beach, and Claude was feeling sick, and he took some medication and fell asleep in his foxhole and managed to sleep through the largest attack the Marines had faced up to that point in the war. And in the morning, Stanwood found him, and he said, "What happened last night?" And Stanwood chewed him out because he thought he was killed or missing, but somehow Claude had slept through the entire thing. And that's kind of how they lived their lives together, always competing, always giving each other a lot of grief. But through the war, they managed to maintain a sense of encouragement for each other and a sense of brotherly love to make sure they were all right. And I think that really is highlighted here in this exhibit because it shows not only their deep connection to each other, but their deep connection to serving in the Marine Corps.
I am so proud of it. And hopefully Claude, we called him TT, and my dad can see it from a higher level, but it makes us even more proud to see it done at LSU, considering they both spent time here. Daddy graduated from LSU, and Claude was here for a couple of years. I think what they've done here is amazing. Also, I want to take the time to compliment the historian here, James Gregory, who put a lot of things together, including talking to the descendants of some of the men who were killed in my dad's group, and talking to their children or their grandchildren. He's dug up so many things and so many stories. Basically, the first thing I recall is my dad getting off the train in Shreveport in uniform. And I can't say what I told him. I would be very politically incorrect, even if I was only 4. But it was a great moment for me. I had been the only child, and I had a little kingdom. And these two came along, and then that was the end. I was then out. I was the older son, and they were the ones who were, coddled. But Daddy and TT would talk more than most people about the war because they were brothers in it together. And sometimes they would have disputes over, no, that happened, yes, that happened. And I loved it. I was fascinated by it. Daddy told me many things. One of the things I remember is that a young, underage person who was big for his age, I think he was 16 or 17, when they hit the beach at Iwo Jima, he had a complete nervous breakdown. He right as they got out of the Amtrak. and it was ultimately killed. But it's something I remember. He just wasn't quite ready for that kind of hell.
James Gregory did a beautiful job putting all this together. I had no idea of the depth and breadth of this exhibit. It's beautiful. Of course, my memories are maybe a little bit different than Stanwood and Berwick's. I do remember one thing was when they, TT, Claude, and my dad went to Saipan years later. And that was a very cathartic and meaningful experience for them to go back, relive it, process it, and come home. And they shared that with us, and that was really wonderful. And I do remember Daddy talking about Maui was where they would go to after their landings, and it was like paradise to them. So those were some things I remember, and we were just lucky. We had fabulous parents. They didn't seem to have too much trauma to pass on to us from the war, and we had a beautiful childhood. So thank you, Daddy. Thank you, TT, that we're being such a wonderful family. Thanks.
One of my better memories is before Daddy died, they would have a yearly get-together of Iwo Jima survivors. And he took me to one in Kansas City, Missouri. And I got to meet a lot of the Marines who went through that hell. And Daddy was 28 when he joined, and my uncle, was 27 when he joined after Pearl Harbor was attacked, and they were considered the old men. And I talked to one of the guys who had served with Daddy, and he said he was like a daddy to me. I think he had joined at 16, fudged his age. But what was remarkable too is these men ranged every part of the social economic spectrum, from doctors to plumbers to all just all type of people. And but there were no John Waynes or no Clint Eastwoods. They all just did what they had to do.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bourke, know your rights.